Hello people, Les the 6mm Wargamer here. This morning I'm going to be knocking up some hedgerows because, well, my wargaming stuff is kind of like trapped in another room, so this is the only thing I've got that I can be working on at the moment. So I've got all sorts of lollipop sticks here. These are wide ones from Hobbycraft. They'll be for hedgerows that's going to have some quite bushy areas on it. These are normal lollipop sticks, and I've got some coffee stirrers that I procured from Pret a Manger, I think it was. Yeah, they're going to be good for not having such a big base to a hedge, because you don't need a hedge on a broad base. It ends up looking like it's on some sort of bank or other, which you don't really need. So these thin whippy stirring sticks will be good for that, really. So I've mounted my Dremel with a drum sander thing on my workbench, so it's gonna rotate the right way for me to sand easily and safely. So there's a whole load of coffee stirrers and normal sized lollipop sticks and broad lollipop sticks, all ready for putting something on them. Next is, well, get a bit of this pan scrubber material and cut off as thin a strip as you can for box hedge, or well, any kind of hedge really. There we are, loads of lengths of pan scrubber all trimmed off. This stuff I think is better than pipe cleaner, or at least the pipe cleaners you get these days. In the old days it was kind of like cotton on a metal twisted bit of wire. These days it seems to be some sort of I think it's chenille they call it. It doesn't go as random and ragged looking as cotton used to. When you put paint on it, it just dries in a really horrible regular pattern, and you can quite often see the wire in the middle as well. So I think this is better than the pipe cleaners you can get today. If you can still get the cotton pipe cleaners, then they'd probably be quite good, but this gives good texture. So there's the length of a stick, and there's the length of a bit of green trimmed off, because it means I can have gaps in the hedgerow for vehicles to pass through, which will be handy. And the sticks are going to be cut down to different lengths as well, so they're not all 6 inches long, which will look a bit weird if they're all the same, I reckon. It's a bit of a two-handed job this really, but basically press it down, Bob's your uncle. The PVA might warp the base a little bit because they're pretty flimsy, these things, and PVA generally, that's what it does, it likes to warp things when it dries out and pulls things tight. So I'm putting these under something to keep them flat. If they do warp, then no bother, I'll put a layer of PVA on the underside and it will pull them the other way then. These bits of hedge that have tapered off a bit in places and got a bit thin, I quite like them because it shows the hedge thinning out a bit, fizzling out, petering off to, I don't know, maybe a gateway. And this bit here can go at this end, and then we've got going to end up with a section in the middle that's quite sparse. I've finished gluing down all the bits of hedgerow onto these thin coffee stirrers here, and I've done some on some of the much wider lollipop sticks as well. There's going to be some other terrain on there, some bushes and maybe even small trees. Now I don't know if this is going to work, but I've got this thin plasticard strip that I've cut down the middle, which should give me a wall of about, I don't know, 3 foot high in 6mm scale. Right, back in the garden. What I'm doing here is just sticking these bits of hedge down on some double-sided tape for when I spray them, because they blow away otherwise, so sticking them down a bit. And what I'm doing, I'm spraying them with some dark brown because the twigs of bushes look a bit dark to me, so that's what I'm doing. I'll make them dark as well. Yeah, I think I definitely don't need to make any more hedgerows now. I'm spraying these this colour because frankly the green of the pan scrubber, although it's a bit too much of a bluey green for my liking, giving them a once over with this to the other side now. Don't know if they make pan scrubbers in dark brown, to be honest. That'd be quite handy if they did, now I think about it. And there you can see the end of the next step, which entailed cutting small bits of rubberized horsehair down to form bushes, gluing them on. Then you just give them a blast with some spray paint, in this case Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Espresso. That's the dark brown I've been using, and this is Sherwood Green, it's another shade I've been using. And then sprinkle different scatter colours onto the bushes. Brush it off of the base, so the base is now clear of scatter again, and then the base can be painted, I don't know, brown for a base colour, and then a different flock sprinkled on top of that. Right, so there's the finished articles. Got the bog standard hedgerows up here on coffee stirrers. The sections of wall that I made, they're not bad. I painted a couple of them up as concrete walls, and these I did as a trial of some sort of rendered wall with a brick top to it and brick pillars at the end. As I say, they're not fantastic, but yeah, if I think of a better way of doing them, I'll have another go. And then these wider boundaries with some open scrubland on them, and I've got loads more hedgerow sections up there as well. You can't have too many, can you? Hope you like seeing what I've been up to the last couple of days, and as always, do some 6mm wargaming.